right, welcome to Instagram photo editing. We are putting together these webinars through the Blogger Union. Let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Paola Mendez, and I am the founder of the Blogger Union. For those of you who are not familiar with the Blogger Union, we are a network of blogger communities that are focused on growing our members' brands and incomes through meetups, workshops, and online webinars, just like this one. And I run specifically the South Florida bloggers here in the Miami area, but we also have other communities all around the US. We have the Minneapolis bloggers, which Claudia runs. We have the DC bloggers, the Houston bloggers, the New York City bloggers, and tons of those. So if you guys want to stay in the loop and become an official member, I recommend you visit thebloggerunion.com. And my personal blog is Coral Gables Love. With us today is Claudia Camargo. And Claudia runs the Minneapolis bloggers. She is a super talented blogger. She runs the blog Miles and Smiles. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am Colombian, so I am Latina. I've been in the States for about 18 years, and I've been blogging for about 5 years. This year is going to be 5 years. It's been a journey. I've met so many amazing people, have learned a lot. And yeah, and I started the Minneapolis Blogger Union. Let's make sure we're all muted just in case we have any interruptions.
Right.
But yeah, I started the Minneapolis Blogger Union when I moved to Minneapolis about 4 years ago, and I moved here because I also work at Target full time. So it wasn't really in my plans to live here in the Midwest. It just kind of happened, but it was my dream job, so I moved here. But the blog kept going, but I just felt like we needed there's a lot of bloggers here, so I felt like we needed a community because I loved what you guys had in South Florida. So we started it about 2 years ago, and it's been really great. I miss them so much. I honestly feel like that's the part that I've been missing a lot of, like seeing my blogger friends. So having at least a virtual space is good. I miss them. I miss the meetup.
Me too. I miss the meetup so much. It was the one time a month that you get to hang out with people who are going through what you're going through. So it's really special, and I can't wait for us to do it in person. But this is definitely a good consolation prize in the meantime.
Yes.
So really quickly before we continue, let me just do.
Paula, and then do you want to do questions at the end, or?
We can try taking questions as we go, and if it's kind of messing with our flow too much, then we can just take them all at the end. So if you want to take us from here, I'm really excited that we're going to start learning how to edit our photos, because photography, the world has become such a visual society that everything comes through your eyes, as we say in Colombia, todo entra por los ojos.
Yeah.
So it's really important that not only we, when we take a photo, we can really take it to the next level with editing. So I'm really excited to learn what tips and tricks you can share with us. So let me see. Are you able to share your screen, or?
Yeah, I think first I'm going to just talk a little bit, and then I'll show you guys a little demo. I'm going to edit a couple pictures with you guys with presets, without presets, with other apps. And then, but I just want to talk a little bit before we do that. I think it's very important to me, Instagram. So I am by trade a designer. I went to school to be an art director specifically. So my eye has been trained my whole life to, like, images are very important, right? And when it comes to like partnering up with brands, they value that content a lot. So when you deliver a bad picture, or like bad editing or bad quality, like it taints your partnership with brands. So I think that's one of the things that I always strive for, is like, would they repost this? Would they be proud of this work? Which is like most of the time. I actually lately during quarantine, I'm doing a lot more iPhone photos. I actually just upgraded my phone to an iPhone, what is it, the 11 Pro. because I think that as bloggers, we need to stay up to date just because it has a great camera. Sorry, my dog.
It's okay. We all know what's happening. Don't worry.
Milo's back there. Give me 1 second. Okay, there you go. I was like, I can't unmute it. So yeah, that's one of the filters that I always get of like, would a brand like this? I try to never, if a brand is asking for pictures from me, I try to never deliver an iPhone photo. I'm not saying that they're bad. It's just when you think about it, like if a brand is paying you and you deliver an iPhone photo, to me it feels like under delivering. Like I could do so much better if you have the equipment and you have the means. Please go the route of doing do the DSLR photos, just like the high quality photos, because they're gonna go so much better. The brand's gonna love them and they're gonna come back to you. But if you deliver an iPhone photo that they can't really use in other places with bad quality, then they're not gonna go back to you. So that's kind of like how I've been treating it. I do see my blog as like a very professional space. It is a creative space, and I'm telling my story and my life to people, but I try to be very, very professional about it. I do go on rants sometimes, so don't think that I don't. But I try to be as politically correct as possible when I go on my rants, because at the end of the day, I'm a human being and I'm sharing my point of view on the world. So as a creative expression, I also think that editing your photos according to what you like is very important. I think I've seen some trends of bloggers going very, very high saturation and colors and very colorful. But then I think the importance is to stay consistent. I think if you go for a certain type, and I'm not saying that you forever have to stick to that, because my style has changed significantly in the past 4 years. I used to like my pictures very, very overexposed. So kind of like in the white, like even my skin would be very pale, and that's not my thing anymore. But I guess it evolves, and like whatever you get to see other bloggers doing and get inspired by other things. A lot of presets that are now out there, which by the way, I'm going to be releasing 3 presets on Wednesday, and we'll send you the link where you guys can purchase them. But it's just like 3 basic presets, but I'm going to show you how to use them and why not every preset will work with every single picture. So even when you buy one preset, just remember that doesn't mean that every picture is going to look the same. And the reason is because the lighting is different, the colors are different. I have one preset that I love, and then sometimes everything looks like bluish green, and I hate it, then I have to switch to another one or tweak that one. So I'm going to do a couple of exercises with you guys to see. Selfies are very hard to edit. So that's one of that I've been kind of like playing more lately now that I'm at home, figuring out what the right preset is. Indoor photography, it's very different than when you're shooting a picture outside with straight sunlight. So we're going to be doing an indoor one, an outdoor one with straight this was actually taken almost at noon, I think. So it's like a straight on sun. And then I'm going to be doing the mirror selfie, just because I do a lot of mirror selfies, especially right now at home when I do like the try-ons or other things like that. I'm going to be doing a photo in the shadow outside, but in the shadow, because that's a very different aspect too, and how you edit those. And then one of like, just like I just did my nails, so I took a picture of that, and I thought it was interesting just to show a different object that is not like a human person, right? Okay. So let's jump into any questions so far.
I don't see any in the chat, but I do think that you pointed something out that's very important, and it's that once you learn how to edit photos, you can't edit every single photo the same way. So I think that's something that maybe photo editing newbies tend to do. They find a filter that they like, and they apply the same filter to all the photos, and it won't give you the same results across all of your photos. So,
and I think another thing is when you edit your pictures. So I've seen a lot of bloggers sadly do this, and over editing your photos, like to the point that you look like you have no pores. Like, you're a human being, and it's okay to show, like, I edit a little bit. I have like acne scars here, so I edit them a little bit, but I don't go overboard and go crazy. Like, I am 34 years old. I have lines in my eyes, and that's okay. Like, I think people appreciate realness sometimes and messiness, and even though I like to, like, my pictures always have to be perfect, but I think now that I've actually jumped on the TikTok trend for a couple months now, I'm embracing more of that messy side, of that real, maybe no makeup side. So yeah, just we're gonna go through some of my favorite apps to edit, and then I'm going to use Facetune, but I want to show you guys like how I use them in a very subtle way. Because again, just you not showing any pores, that's not necessarily the best thing, or over editing parts of your body. Like, I do think I think as influencers, we have the responsibility to show some sort of realness. I know that we all like to tweak some things that we don't like, that we don't feel very confident with, but I think like severely editing like your waist or bigger boobs or a bigger butt, like, honestly, we're not like I think about it on the way of like, I have a lot of younger followers, like within the teens, and I don't want them to see like expectations that are not real, right? Like, I am on the thinner side, I've always been, but that doesn't mean that like I have huge boobs, or like I have little, like the other day I posted that picture that I was like, I have gorditos too, like I have a little bit of like stuff here when I sit down, and I think that's okay to show that too. So don't go crazy on that Facetune app, because it can be very addicting for some people.
Okay, we do have a question, and Charian is asking, what are DSLR photos? And that's a great question, because we use the term DSLR because what is that?
So those are the pictures that are with the big camera, with the big lenses, and those are like the more professional, that will give you, like, when you take pictures with those, you take a raw file, which is much more flexible to edit. So that's one of the things that I want you guys to keep in mind. When we edit things, there is an app that I'm going to show you guys, and I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Tessa, the blogger, she has a photo editing app. But she also sells presets. When you edit on apps that already have those filters, those images that your iPhone takes, those images are either JPEGs, or I think now they have a new format.
Yeah, it's like HCEI.
IHEC something. Anyway, it's a different format. When you take a picture with a DSLR, it's a what's the?
I think it's .RAW.
Right. So the difference with those, with a preset, you can, with preset on Lightroom, so I'm going to show you guys that app, Lightroom, you can, with the preset, you can tweak a lot of things when you have that raw file, because there is just like much more information that the camera captures. When you take a picture on your phone, because it's very limited and you don't have all those, the aperture and all the things that a regular professional camera would have, then the story is different. So when I take pictures with my big camera, or my husband takes my pictures with the big camera, then I edit them on Lightroom on desktop. And when I take them with my phone, I can edit them on Lightroom on my phone or on Tessa. So those are the I'm going to show you a couple of pictures, editing pictures that I wanted to show you guys, and the process that they go through. I never, ever, ever edit on Instagram, ever. So like whenever I post already to Instagram, that's already ready to go.
So that's also a great point. So when you take a picture with your camera, your big camera with the lens, you can set it to take pictures in two formats, either JPEG or that file format Claudia was talking about, RAW. And what's great about the RAW format is that it's a huge file. So that huge file lets it save so much more information on that picture, so that when you go to the editing app that Claudia is going to show you, like, you have way more room to fix a photo. And something else that I'm sure Claudia was going to mention is if you take a picture and it's too bright, it's going to be much harder to edit that picture, because when a photo is washed out and it's very white, it means that the file doesn't have that much information. Wherever it's white, the file doesn't have any information in that area. Versus if it's a little dark because you were in the shade, then the image file actually has information about that area, so you're going to be able to edit that. But let's get into specifics. Go for it.
Cool. So let's just start the demo. I'm gonna be editing a couple pictures with you guys to show you, and then please ask questions along the way. If it's bright outside, what is a good setting to make it darker so it's easier to edit? So that's a great question. Actually, let's start with that picture, the picture that is straight up with the sun. I think I took this one at like 1 p.m. So very, very harsh sun. So let me just share my
while you're
screen.
sharing your screen, I'll help you answer some of the questions. So does every brand ask for the raw file so that you can do something with it? I don't believe you should give brands raw files. You should give brands your final edited photos so that they match, you know, they can't mess with the photo and it has your style stamped into it, your photo editing style already in the photos that you give them. You can give them very large format of that file. So, you know, a 5,000 by something pixel versus just giving them a 750 pixel wide image. Or when you get into the resolution. But I think that's a little bit advanced photo editing.
Yeah, and then the other thing is if the brand actually wants the raw files, you could consider it. I would charge a lot more. So don't charge like a regular Instagram post photo, like charge us like the original assets, because they may want to use that photo for like billboards or just other marketing materials. Again, as Paula said, they would probably require a high resolution JPEG. But if they absolutely must, then you have to charge even more for that file.
Exactly. Okay. We have one more question, and I'll let you go for it. Someone asked if this recording is going to be available afterwards, and yes, we are posting all of our free online workshop replays on the Blogger Union YouTube channel, and I'll post the link here so you guys can go and subscribe so that you get notifications whenever we post any replays.
So how many of you have heard about Lightroom and this app? So it's a great app, and I believe the mobile version is free. I'm not sure. I have it through my Adobe Cloud subscription, which is actually, it's a very good subscription because you get all of the Adobe products, and I use a lot of them. So mobile is free. You guys have said it. So it's a very good app. That's where you would use your presets. So this is the app, and then this is, let me show you, this is what it looks like, that little blue icon over there. So let's go into the photos. Can you guys see my phone screen?
I can, okay. Yes, I can.
So I'm gonna go, so this is the one that I told you guys that is like, it was like very, very bright. But as Paola said, you should always try to shoot darker because it's easier to edit that way. So the way that you do something darker, let me see if I can show you guys here with my camera. So for example, like that, let's say you just tap on the lightest or the darkest part, and that's gonna adjust the white balance. So like, let's say that I want, or you can also like, see how you can bring your finger up and down, and that will make it brighter.
Yeah, so that little slider with the sun is the exposure. So if you want it to get darker, just click on something and drag the little sun down.
So for example, I tapped on that really bright part of the screen and it got a lot brighter, but if I tap like out here, then it got darker. And then if you want it even darker, which that's what I did with that picture, I just went all the way down. And then I took that picture, this picture, I took it with this stand. Actually, if you guys want to buy it on Amazon, it's really good. It was only like 20 bucks, and it's like a little tripod thing, and it comes with a clicker. So you just like connected Bluetooth to your phone, and then you put your phone here, and that's how I took the picture. I've done a lot of these pictures during quarantine, so it was a really good buy. So if you guys want to use that, that's great. So anyway, let's go back to editing. So I took that picture. It's very dark. So then you go into, actually Lightroom already has some presets, so we could try to play with those ones. So like, for example, the color one, let's see if it does. So it already changed a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's the before, that's the after. So if you're into very, very, very subtle things, the ones that Lightroom has are perfect. They just have like different edits like this. It's really up to like whatever whatever you like. I have some presets. So for example, there are some presets like I told you guys that are just not gonna work. I bought this presets from another blogger and they were terrible. I bought them, but they have never like look at this. Like it's like orange. Like why? I don't understand. But so please don't do that. Don't make yourself orange.
Oh, it's giving you a fake tan.
Look at the before and the after. So obviously like that preset was not going to work, but then I've done a couple different ones, and again it depends on what the lighting is. So I think for this one I went with creamy. I think it was this one, but I still feel like I look too orange. So this is the before, this is the after. So you just like, you press the little check mark at the bottom and then you go into color, go up into mix, go into the oranges. And then the oranges is where the orange luminance, that's where you can make your skin look darker. But I feel like sometimes it goes a little too dark, and I don't know, I don't want it to like come across as like blackface or anything. So I mean, you can go even darker, but that, see how like even like the palm of my hands look ridiculous. So obviously we don't want to do that. So a little bit less. I think that's fine. So then what I would do here, maybe put down the one problem that I always have with this, not problem, but it depends on the light, is that always the shadows are too muted. So you can go into light, go down to shadows, and then if you want it darker, like some items I really like this biker shorts or even the bag, I just wanted them to be a little bit, see how different, like if you take out all the shadows, how it looks, and it that to me doesn't look pretty. So then I bring in more of like the richness of the black. So that's how I would edit that, but we're not done yet. So then you just save it, export up here, that's the icon, and then export to camera roll. So then I'm going to show you guys, I just downloaded this, actually a while ago, I downloaded this other app called Retouch. So I'm going to open that on this one. So for example, here, it really bothers me, the handle of my garage door. So what's cool about this app is that you just go to object removal and then you zoom into that. So you would have to like take all of this and then you just select this, the thing that you want to remove. It has to have a very like, kind of like simple background. Otherwise it's not going to look good. And then you just do go and it's gone.
Bam. So it's kind of like Photoshop.
It's kind of like Photoshop on the go, yeah.
But it's just for object removals.
So then that's without it, and I feel like it looks a lot better and less busy.
I don't remember if that app is free. Is that app free?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either if it's free.
Yeah.
But I also have it.
So then I'm gonna modify the original.
It's $1.99. Thank you so much.
Oh, $1.99. There you go. Perfect. You guys are awesome. Okay. So now we're gonna go to Facetune, which is, this is like the one that I was editing this picture last night for my husband. We're gonna go into recents. So for example, here, I like to smooth out a little bit my legs. I just feel like I have, but then you just like, you tap on it. You don't like go crazy, because if you go crazy, look what happens. Then you start losing all the shininess. It's just like the legs start looking a little bit fake, and I don't like that. So I just like tap it very lightly For example, here, like that line bothers me. So I'll just try to remove that, kind of make this a little bit. And then on my face, you just tap a little bit. Again, please don't go crazy. Like I wouldn't do any more than this. And then if you want some areas, like let's say I'm thinking that my shoes need to be wider, so you use the whiten tool at the bottom, and you just go into the whatever you want to make whiter. So sometimes I do like my eyes, my eyeballs, like the white part, because it may look a little bit yellow. So let's see if you can see the difference. I think the difference is very, very subtle on this one. Let's see if I can do, let me try to do like the wall to see. There you go. You guys, can you guys see how it's turning whiter? Like you can see the difference.
You can definitely see it.
So that's like when you want to like neutralize some of those like yellow colors, it's really up to like whatever you like on your feed.
So somebody asked, Elizabeth asked if you recommend only using Lightroom on your phone, the Lightroom version on your phone, and Tessa and Retouch for iPhone photos, or for RAW photos.
I think it just really depends on what you like. I like Tessa for my personal photos. I have a personal Instagram. I'm gonna edit one with you guys on Tessa, so that you guys can see. It's just like the Tessa one has very specific presets already. You can't add, and then on Lightroom you can add your own presets that you either make or buy. Right. So it just gives you more flexibility. But I can edit. Yeah, Lightroom, you can edit the iPhone photos or the professional photos as well. Okay.
Yes, but for RAW, if you have you went through the trouble of purchasing a big camera and you're taking your photos in RAW format, then you definitely want to edit on your desktop, because you can really see what you're doing. They're heavier, you know, for the processing on your computer. So I would definitely recommend RAW images to do it on the desktop, but you do have to pay Adobe $10 a month to have the Lightroom on your desktop, and you get Photoshop for free, which is the full-on app that Retouch is trying to be, but that's only one of the tools that Photoshop gives you. It gives you a ton of other stuff. Okay.
Cool. So, okay, so you guys can see the huge difference that the whiten tool does. I could even put some more here. Okay. And let's say you're done, so then you just like export it up here, save to camera roll, and oh, I don't know why it gave me an error, but there you go. Now it's saved. And then you would just like go into Instagram and post it. Now let's do the selfie one. So this is Selfie. I did a makeup live with a friend last Sunday, and so selfies are a little bit harder, and I'm working on a preset that it's a little bit softer. So this is the one that I'm using right now. Let me show you why selfies are hard. Because if I go, so let's use that same preset that I just used on the other one, which is the creamy one. And this is what it looks like. And I feel like it's just not accurate to my skin color, to the makeup. It's just like not helping. Aesthetically, it doesn't look very pretty. So you could either tweak it or you could try to find another one. So I think I have one that is more natural. Here, neutral. So that's a lot better, and it's a lot softer on the contrast of the colors. I still feel like I look a little pale. So I'm gonna bring a little bit of that orangey color that I showed you guys back in. Go just a tiny, tiny bit. There you go. So that works with that specific lighting that I had in my living room. Obviously I need to edit some of these things. So that's why I'm saying, like, I had a pimple last week. It's okay, but I'm gonna like edit it on Facetune. So that's how I would do that. And then just to export to camera roll. Go into Facetune. And then I would just like do the smooth tool and just gently like dab it into because you don't want, I mean, you want to feel confident on your pictures, right? But you don't want to look like a completely different person. One of the things that I always am scared of is like my followers to see me in real life and be like, oh, you look nothing like in your pictures. I don't know. That's just like a real fear that I have in life. So then I would do, there is the patch. So the patch one is the one that you would use whenever you have those blemishes that you don't necessarily want. So you just, this is what it's just like a cloning tool. So you select the little part, and then the second, this other one is where it's gonna pick up the kind of like what's gonna clone that texture. So then I would do that. And what I was saying before with the white tool on my eyes. So maybe I just go in, make them a little bit whiter. So see how like they just like makes a slight difference that just brings the attention of the viewer to your eyes. Another thing that I like to do is use the details one. So details is whenever, for example, like this jewelry that I had, I would go and do a little bit of that detail. So see the difference if I without it and with. It just like brings up a little bit more of the details in it. And I would do the same in my eyes, especially when you're doing makeup. I know a lot of have a makeup blogger friend, and she does that all the time with her makeup just to like pick up a lot more of that contrast. And then I would do the same on my necklace, a little bit on my hair. And that's pretty much how I would edit a selfie picture. You just save it, and then it's ready to be posted on Instagram.
Okay, so Bobby is asking, it's something we already talked about a little bit, but should you always use the same preset on all your Instagram photos so your page looks cohesive?
Yes and no. I have a mixture. So let me go to my Instagram and show you. Sorry, this is my personal one. If I, for example, why is it not loading? I can't. Why is it not showing more pictures? Okay. There was one picture I want to show you guys because I used a different preset. For example, this one. This is a shoot that we did back here in my backyard with my husband. And then this was, I edit all of these pictures on the desktop version, and this is completely different presets, but I don't think it, like, it's not standing out a lot different. Like, it's still pretty cohesive. So these are like the pictures that we took that day. So there's a little bit more of warm, because obviously it was like the sun was in my face, and a lot more blue and green tones in it. But I think it still works. It feels cohesive. I don't know why it's not letting me go through my own feed. Anyway, okay. Let's go back to edit an indoor one. So for example, I think this one I haven't edited. I took it when I was bored here one day, just doing like a shoot right here on that corner over there. But so then I go, let's try to use a different preset. So these are other presets. I bought this one's from a girl, a blogger. Her name is Jennifer. Can't remember her last name, but she has really pretty presets. It's more of the pink side of things. So see how like it brings out a lot of warmer.
Question, Clau, do you ever start editing a photo from scratch, or do you always start with a preset?
I always start with a preset because I feel like it's just easier for me to do it that way. That way I already know what I'm working with from a color standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But I always start with a preset. So she has a lot of really cute ones. Like for example, this one. This one's really pretty. But see how like half of the picture, like from my phone down, it is a little bit darker. It just feels heavier at the bottom. So what I would do when that happens, so let's choose that preset and then I export it. Let me show you, this is another app that I use. It's called Snapseed, and this one is by Google. So what this does, you can choose a part of your picture that is darker. So you can go into tools, and then we go in selective, and then you just put a point. So for example, that's the point that I'm going to put. And you just choose as as much range as you wanted to have. You could just choose like this little area, or you could choose like all of this. So I'm gonna do all of it because I just feel like overall the picture looks heavier at the bottom. And then you just go brighter. So you just like swipe your finger if it lets me. Okay. So see how like you can make it darker if you want, that only that area, or make it lighter. That might be a little too much because it's like overexposed, but, and then you can just do another one if you feel like it's not. There we go. So we pick up, so this is the before and this is the after. So it's just how do we keep that airy feeling that it's from the top, bring it back to the bottom as well. And this was just like by the nature of like my window is up here, and then if I'm taking a picture down there, obviously like the lightest part is going to be at the top. So that's a really good app that I use for that specifically.
That was a really neat trick.
Cool. I'm glad you guys are finding it helpful. There is another thing that they have used on this one too. It's called the brush. Let's say right now I feel like all the colors here are very like in the same family, but let's say I don't like the color of that brown hat and I just want to make it gray. So you can go into the brush and then you go saturation and then you bring it down to -10 and then you go to that specific part and then you just like with your finger you start coloring it. So that's just to like take off all the color from it. Or you can also like bring up the saturation of a specific thing. So but to me, like sometimes like let's say on my picture there's something really red at the background and it's just taking a lot of attention from the eye. So this is what it was before and after. So that's that. Let's see what other picture I have. Which one do you guys want to see? Do you want a mirror selfie, like when you do try-ons, or do you want the one with the shadow? This one, like this is outside but within a shadow.
Yeah, I think that one would be great.
This one
with the shade, yeah.
Okay. So this was in my backyard. I've become very creative with the spaces that I have in my house because I have to. I feel like I can't be out shooting right now. So this was in my backyard. And then again, same thing, go to presets. So Jennifer has a lot of cute ones, but I feel like they're it just washes out a lot of the colors, especially from that shirt. So for example, a brand sent me that shirt and I love it. It's a silk shirt and it's really pretty. But if I wash out the color of it, it's kind of like, it's a very different item. And I feel like when people are going to look for that shirt on their website, they're going to be like, but I don't see the same color. So I just, again, you just try to start like looking for the one that makes more sense and the one that you like. So this feels a little bit closer, but I don't love the highlights on my shirt because it's silk. I think I'm just gonna go back to the one that I always use most is the creamy one. But this feels too washed out. Like it's just not like I feel I look really pale. So then again, we go to light, bring down the shadows so that brings a little bit more of that warmth. I even feel like it's too overexposed, so you can bring that down. Then you can go to colors and make it a little bit warmer. You can on this sliders, you can make it a lot cooler, but I mean that looks, some pictures need it, but I feel like this one needs just a little bit more warmth. I feel like the green needs to come out a little bit more, so I'll go into color, go into the color green, bring up a little bit of that saturation. So that's kind of like how I would probably keep this. Maybe a little bit more of the orange, bring down the luminance, and that's how I would probably edit that. So I think that would be it on this one. I don't think I would, maybe I would go into Facetune just to give some details to the jeans, the sandals, but overall it felt like it was like a fine picture to post. There's another thing you can do here. I've seen some people, like for example, the one I did yesterday. Let me show you guys. That had a lot of background, like for example, this one. Like I had a lot of blue, and I've seen a lot of people that love to change the color of the sky, and it makes for really pretty pictures. So, like, this is a little too much, obviously. This is a preset that I did for my sister, but she was in Hawaii, and it was very warm over there. So, warm, when I say warm, like warm colors. But let's say we're gonna go with like this too much. But this is a preset that I did because I needed to bring up a little bit more of the blues where I was, because there was a lot of violet flowers. But let's say you like this one, just the blue looks a little fake. So you just go into color and go into the blue tones and then bring up the luminance and see how it just looks a little bit more natural. So that's the original, and that's done. So yeah, I think, oh, sorry. I think
that was a great trick for this guy.
Do we want to go through the Tessa app really quick?
Yes, but we have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Someone asked, did you get all of those, where did you get all of those presets?
So most of them, I created them, but I've purchased other presets from other bloggers just to test them out. Most of the times the presets that I purchase, I don't like, and I end up changing them. But that's just like, I feel like the nature of presets, like you just keep happening. You keep creating your own presets as you keep editing different photos in different light moments and different colors. And it's just, again, like what we were saying with Paola, like not every preset is going to work with every picture.
Right. And Bobby, yes, once you purchase the presets, then you're able to add them into the app in your phone in Lightroom and in your desktop Lightroom. So maybe what we'll do is when we create the replay, we'll also create a page with links to all the things, the iPhone stand and all presets, and including Claudia's presets that she's going to have available on Wednesday, so that you guys can go take a look-see. Another question we got is, do you use any apps to preview your feed and to schedule your posts?
I don't. I'm actually really bad at planning my Instagram. It's just kind of like what happens in the day. But I know a lot of bloggers do, and I think they use, there's one called Planoli. I used to use Unum, U-N-U-M. But I don't know. I'm just like, I'm more of like spontaneous for
you go, you fly post by post.
Yeah, and I felt maybe that's why, like, maybe that picture yesterday felt kind of like, but there's some hints of blue on my feed, so I don't know. I guess it works for me.
All right.
But it's whatever works for you.
Yes. And then I think that was it. In questions, someone did ask if you could show us how do you edit a mirror selfie, if we have time for that. So if you can show us the Tessa app, whatever you want.
So the mirror selfie, really quick, I just did that same preset, the creamy one. Because for example, this picture, I took it at night here in my office. So I only had the light source was the lamp up here. But I feel like I am the kind of person that I need to create a space that I can take pictures no matter what time it is, because sometimes I need to deliver to brands, right? And maybe I just don't have time tomorrow. So if I need to do it before, so this is the preset for creamy. So you can see the difference, how like it changed. Like it looks like daytime to me. Like it could very much be that. So that's just like a quick.
That creamy preset that you use all the time, that's one that you created?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I hope that one's for sale.
Yeah, maybe I'll put this one for sale. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. I use it all the time. So let's go through the Tessa one really quick. So sorry, let me show you guys the icon. Is the one with the little eye. Somebody was asking about it. So it's that little eye, Tessa with Z, double Z. So she has this really cool app where you can edit pictures and as well as video. So I have the paid version. I think for photos you don't have to pay, but I think for video you do have to pay. I like to, sometimes on my stories or something, I like to use a little filter. So let's say for example this picture I took of my dog and my dog and my husband. So I thought it was a really cute moment. So you just choose it, but then you see how like the light source is from the back and it's very cool tone. So I was just trying to figure out how do I make it just look a little bit more like what it was in the moment. It was a very warm moment. So how do we change that? So this is what I mean. Tessa already has her presets here, her filters. So then you just go into the ones that like, you just try. It's just pretty much trial and error and see like whatever you like, what colors you like. So let's say they just have, she just has like very different ones. So let's say I like, I don't know, toasty? No, that I don't like that one. That's too brown for me. Almond, like this is a cute one. And again, it depends on your feed. Like this is for like personal use, and I feel like it looks a little bit different on the computer. But so you can actually edit this. For example, if you feel like the filter is too much, you can reduce it or make it more. But I mean, I always keep it at 100%. Here is the one that you can use at the dust. I don't know if you guys have seen some bloggers doing the dust thingy. So you can add dust here. I'm not a fan of it, but some people like it. And then you can reduce how much you can see of it, the transparency of it. So this is the app that a lot of bloggers use for that. I'm not a fan of it because I feel like it just makes the pictures busier. So I don't like to do that, but if you guys like that, you can add it there. And then another thing you can do here is you can edit. She just added this feature, the HSL. So for example, you feel like the yellows could come through a little bit more, but you still like the other tones. So you would go in here, go into the yellow color, and then you can bring up the saturation. See, like, I mean, you can go crazy with it, but you can bring a little bit more. Maybe you want more green, or maybe you want less green. And then we just like take it down. I guess it didn't do much. Oh, there you go. That's what it would do. So that's why I don't love editing on the Tessa app unless like I know what specific preset, because it's not as flexible as Lightroom. Like I feel like on Lightroom you have a lot more flexibility, but if you don't want to learn Lightroom or it's just like too hard right now, this is a good place to start playing with this. So this was the before, this is the after.
Okay.
And then you
Kelly has a question if you want to type it into the chat.
What?
Oh, sorry. Kelly Lynn has a question. I'm just telling her if she can please type it into the chat.
Okay.
We can answer for her.
There's one there. It says, what method will be used to provide the preset? Will we get them through email? So you have to purchase them. We will send you the link, and then you have to purchase the presets, and then I will send a PDF with instructions of how to install them to your phone or to your desktop. Does Snapseed have the hue function too? I'm guessing, yeah, let's see. So you mean like on that selective thing or on what tool? So on this selective thing, you have brightness, you have contrast, saturation, and structure. So let's say if we want to play with the structure and see what happens. So we would do, it just becomes a lot more crisp. So if you want saturation, it just brings up the oranges, or if you want to get rid of it. It's a really cool tool whenever you have like a localized thing that you want to change.
Yeah, but I didn't see the hue then, right?
The hue, let's see. I don't use it for the hue. I use Lightroom for hues.
Yeah,
but brush, white balance, tune image. I guess you could edit them here too. I haven't done it on here, so I wouldn't be comfortable to show you guys because I would just be trying things and I don't know. Okay, out here. Yes. I honestly, I mean, if you want to play with that, it'll be great. But I think Lightroom is a lot easier, just for me. I've been using it for longer.
Okay, great.
Any other questions? I'm trying to think what other apps I've used. Oh, there's this really cool app. I just downloaded it recently. Which one is it? I think it's, oh, Pixar. This one is really fun if you want to add like things to your photos, just like more illustration type of thing. You do have to pay for this one. So yesterday I was trying to do this because I wanted to add something to the picture, but it looked a little too fake, so I decided not to. But it was just like trying to see like if you could have lemons kind of being thrown at me or just like floating around me, or you can add flowers. I think Lola, let me show you. Lola from Kim from Lola, by Lola. She does some really cool things. Oh, Lola, is that her? Yeah, right.
I think so.
Bio Lola.
There you go.
She does really cute illustrations. So like stuff like this, you could do on that app. With that like thing that says Mother's Day gift guide, and then that like little scribble. She did that on PixArt, and she used to do it more. Trying to find another picture, but she's also really great at editing her pictures. But yeah, you can add like little things like that. Like for example, that little thing that she put there with the polka dots. I think you could do it to video. But anyway, that's a really fun app you can try too.
Okay, great. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, do you have any other tips that you had planned to show us, or we got to the end of this amazing workshop?
I think that was it. Those are the apps that I'm using right now. I mean, there's Me Too that you can add like sparkles and let's see. I was trying to do one. Like let's say we're gonna do this one. I think there's a way you can do. Oh, here. I think it's mosaic, and then you just add. Oh no. So you can tell that I don't use this app that often. So then you just like go in and you can add your own like backgrounds to things. Just with the finger. I don't know. It's really cute. Like, I don't know if you've seen those bloggers. There's some bloggers that do the glitter type of background. It looks really pretty. So if you're into that stuff, this is a good app to do that.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it's just, I think it's a lot of like, have fun, do a lot of trial and error, have fun with your followers, ask them what do they like, explore your own sense of style and what do you like, what you don't like. It's okay to change. It's okay to, again, it's just like, it's your own platform, so you can create whatever you want out of it. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing to me. Just have fun. If you're not feeling a picture, you're editing and you're just doing too much editing to try to make it good, then just let it go, and then you'll do another picture tomorrow, and that's okay.
Well, thank you so much, Claudia, for coming and sharing all of your insights with the members of the Blogger Union.
Yeah.
Do you have any other news that you'd like to share with us, other than your presets that are coming out on Wednesday?
I'm going to be releasing a lot more presets and bundles of presets, but I think for Wednesday we're going to have 3 up so that you guys can start playing with it and get more like familiarized with it, and then hopefully I can get the rest by the end of the month, hopefully.
Wonderful. Thank you again so much. Make sure to follow Claudia at Miles and Smiles on Instagram. And if you'd like to rewatch this webinar, make sure to follow the Blogger Union on YouTube, so that you can watch the replay. Thanks everyone so much for joining us.
Bye guys, thank you for joining. Bye, Pao.
Bye.